Welcome to the Kennedy Heights Arts Center. My name is Mallory Feltz. I am the Director of Exhibitions and Public Art. It has been an absolute honor and privilege to work with the curator, Zuri Ali, who put on this fantastic exhibition called We Are All Healing, Tending to the Wounds We Were Taught to Hide.
Last year, I was actually an artist in the Voices of Freedom exhibit, and when Mallory Feltz reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in curating, I, of course, said absolutely. Although I had never curated a show with 10 artists, it seemed a little scary, but I knew it was time to make that jump. And if she saw something in me that she felt she could trust, I knew it was time to kind of take that on, take the opportunity on. And so I really thought about which artists I felt most connected to when it came to discussing a topic such as mental health, which can be difficult to discuss. And each of the artists that I spoke to, I really felt did a wonderful job of creating unique conversations within their work that would connect with a lot of people.
It's an important exhibition of, 10 lovely artists making work about mental health within the Black and marginalized communities, and how generational trauma and also personal stigma is something that we need to talk more about.
Not dealing with our shame that can sometimes weigh us down gets in the way of us growing and healing and moving forward. And this is just more so a piece to open up that dialogue with the community and show us what can happen, what can blossom, what we are capable of when we nurture what's on the other side of that shame.
We need to take away and strip away all that stigma in order to heal and to move forward, which is amazing. And Zuri did an awesome job of selecting a variety of artists that have such quality work in a variety of different mediums. And, it really highlights how universal this topic is and how varied it is. And it's just a joy for me to see this all put together.
So I first had the idea for this piece around the time of Charlie Kirk's passing. There was a lot of dialogue amongst African Americans that I just found to be very, very frustrating. And I don't know if you are familiar with the expression of being heavenly minded, but no earthly good. Essentially, that's what this piece is about. There are just lots of African Americans that have this mindset that as long as I am into the Bible and following God's word, that's all I have to worry about. And they often neglect the reality around them, which is that not only are people suffering, but we often play a part in our demise. And so for this piece here, we look at the figure and the expression is almost snooty, right? Just kind of pompous, if you will, to be looking up, almost turning his nose up at the environment around him, and the bedazzled crown of thorns in this space. It's less, commodification of religion, but more so branding of the individual. A lot of times, people wear Christianity as a personality trait.
Right.
Yeah. And then we have this aged, worn American flag, which just shows, just time, history, right? But then we have some of the stars are missing here, which represents the exclusion of African Americans in American history. And so for this figure to be draped in this flag, almost as if it's comforting him, we're really calling this man a fool, because you're so far up here that you're just missing so much around you. Then we have the bare trees here. We have this bold red line, which symbolizes blood, grief, loss, sacrifice. Essentially, there is no fruit to bear. There is nothing good to come from having this kind of mentality for our people in this country.
You're the most important person.
This is beautiful. I haven't even gotten to properly look at everything, but it's beautiful.
inspiration for this was for black men that are kind of skeptical about seeking mental health help when they need it. So they change things around a little bit, and it causes internal and external issues for them. So this is just kind of just to encourage them to seek mental help when they need it, and from professionals or from people who care about them. We consider our men to be black kings. So that's the symbol for the crown, and this is supposed to symbolize like a throne, so that's pretty much what it is. And the colors, the black, red, and green, for the African American flag, it's pretty symbolic. And him looking up, there's hope. It's always hope. I thought collage fit because it was things piled on top of one another. Just like issues, when people feel issues, they pile things on top before they seek help. And the confusion, and even though there's confusion involved in it, there is still solutions still here, like this sign here. That's a QR code to a place called NAMI, and they offer help for mental health for people.
So the inspiration is just turmoil of today, what everybody's going through, and it just seems like the things that the American flag and the Statue of Liberty were meant to represent don't seem to represent the same things today. And although the Statue of Liberty is still important, it's probably one of the most important things that stands today. The American flag it doesn't have that same symbolism that it once had. So I was pulling from those emotions, and I just have strong emotions behind everything that's happening right now. And I wanted to kind of put that into a painting because the Statue of Liberty, it was given to the United States after the abolishment of slavery, and as well as the original Statue of Liberty was covered in bronze, the skin of it. It's just oxidized, that's why it's green like that, but it's actually bronze. So yeah, if you look in the light in some angles, you'll see it's a metallic colored copper paint that I use. So that's why it's a woman of color specific.
So the inspiration behind this piece is called The Sound of Music. Came from the theme of the show, right? It's talking about how we're kind of like not allowed or haven't been allowed to like express our pain and talk about it. And something that inspired me was a lot of people used music as a way to express how they felt. And I know it's like a pretty, it's like straight to the point, but even back in the day, like when people on like plantations, they would sing and like hum and do all these things as a way for them to really communicate the pain and tell the story. So I feel like till today we have a lot of artists who speak about their pain through music, and we get to either relate to it or be inspired by it. And that's the reason why I was very inspired to use music as my way of like speaking about that pain. And another inspiration is in high school I played the trumpet for a little bit. So actually pictured in these photos is my brother, my older brother. And so I lent him my trumpet. I kind of feel bad because I haven't really played my trumpet since I left high school, but it really just spoke to me, and I wanted to highlight that and like have it in this like very cinematic movement and motion to really express how much emotion is in the music and like the passion in it. So that was mainly my inspiration behind this. I'm working on this series where I'm using an actual frame. So this is an actual physical frame that is like basically having like float in the air. Like I have like a strings attached to it. So I photographed him through the frame. Yeah, so the series itself is like its own spin-off. It's called Through the Frame. But this particular one was The Sound of Music. The movement was captured in camera, so I set it to a specific setting where it allows to create motion. So I just had him move, like make very bold moves, and the camera captures that movement. That's why you see those lines. But I did go into like editing and just touch up certain spots to like really like brighten it up. Like, for example, those spots, and like I just kind of put a little bit more like light to it.
This one's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is like very like I wanted it to feel like a painting as well, where it's like very abstract.
Yes.
So I had to make a lot of movement, and so everything here was captured on camera, and all I did was just add like some texture and color grading, but most of it was captured on camera. This was like a great project. I'm glad Zuri had us be a part of this and really share how we took that story and how we kind of like express ourselves.
The theme of the show is wounds were healing, right? And so my piece is entitled Listen to Black Girls, because a wound from my childhood that I'm healing is being overlooked, being not listened to if I didn't approach certain adults in my life like in a way that was palatable to them. I think young Black girls and Black boys are not listened to a lot by the adults in their lives. And you said I'm young? Oh, I'm 36. I think I look younger than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I, as a young girl, if I was crying, if I was too hysterical, it's like, come back when you're not crying, when you're calm. So my piece is about listening to Black girls, no matter what emotion they're experiencing. Like, we need to be listened to. This has become my signature style. I call it my secret word style. So I do these secret word embroideries and paintings. So this is an embroidery example. So
you really have to look at it.
Exactly. So it looks different from across the room, and then as you approach it, it changes in appearance, right? Depending on the lighting, your distance, and I also added some hand beading on there to give it some sparkle, to like allude to this idea that the words of Black girls are precious and they should be cherished and listened to. So the secret word embroidery style, I came up with it like about 5 years ago. It's when I first showed in this style. I wanted a way to convey words and ideas that are like kind of like whispers that kind of aren't totally there, that like that are almost there but not quite. And so that's how I came up with this idea of like embroidering a slightly lighter color onto the fabric to like kind of make the words seem like secretive, or it's kind of like they're kind of camouflaged, and you have to really zoom in and really like listen and pay attention to the work to understand what it's saying. Like literally you have to get close to it to see what it's saying.
So my piece kind of speaks on, I think with the theme of the exhibition today, it speaks on healing. I think it's a journey, a spiritual journey. Growing up, I think I saw a lot of women that I grew up with that would connect through this action of like sitting down under a tree and they'll like braid hair. And I think it kind of speaks on that part. From my childhood, I think growing up, I've seen a lot of women heal through that process, through the stories that they talked about. And I'm just trying to capture some of those moments in time. And they kind of grew up as like learning from the elders while they're doing that. And so this is just a depiction of that. And in this piece specifically, I put in masks on these women, and it shows the different stages in life and like the knowledge that they had at the time in that moment in their life. And it kind of like depicts the different faces that people have in the different environments that they're in. And so that's kind of like a raw, depiction of like the different faces and the different types of people that these women are.
This show is up until April 11th. And we do have, and this show is actually the kickoff to the Voices of Freedom 2026, which is a visual and performing arts series that we do in partnership with Juneteenth Cincinnati. This is our 6th year partnering with them. And it includes 2 performances, one on February 21st and one on March 21st. They'll be at 7:30 here at the Lindner Annex. There are tickets on our website at kennedyarts.org. They are a suggested donation of $10 each, so we want to make it affordable for everyone to come. But they are amazing. Performances will be of musicians and poets and dance companies, and it'll just be awesome. All the details are on our website.
Thank you.